So question 28 says find the product of this. So we have a 8x plus 4y squared. So this one's also special, but again, the power 2 just means there's two of these. So I could use FOIL on this. So one strategy would be to say 8x plus 4y and then just write 8x plus 4y again. And I could just use FOIL. So notice how FOIL means multiply the 8x through first outer, multiply the 4y through inner last. So if we do those four multiplications, 8x times 8x is going to be 64x squared. 8x times 4y is going to be 32xy. And then 4y times 8x, again, is going to be 32xy. I like to put the letters in alphabetical order. Instead of saying yx, we could say xy. And then 4y times 4y is going to be 16y squared. So notice that the middle term occurs twice. So really what we have is 64x squared and two of these. So two of those is going to give me like basically like say multiplying by two. So that's really like saying 232xy. So since there's two added together, I can also write that as 2 times 32xy. So the bottom line is we're still going to get the 64xy plus then the 16y squared. Now, instead of using FOIL, there's a pattern to this. If we have what's called a perfect square trinomial, so if we have a binomial squared, it's going to turn into a trinomial. So there's going to be three moves. So notice how A is going to be the 8x, the B is going to be the 4y. So what we do is follow the three steps. The first step is simply says square the 8x. So 8x times 8x is going to be 64x squared. Then the next move is to multiply A times B and then double it. So 8x times 4y would be 32y, but if I double it, 32 and 32 is going to be 64xy then. And then the last move is to square the b squared. So 4y times 4y would be 16y squared. So notice how we could actually do this problem mentally if we just know the three moves. Square the first term, 64x squared. Multiply the first and last term together, 8x times 4y, and then double it. There's where the 64xy comes from. And then the last move is to square the last term. So 16y squared. So it's a three-step process. When you square a binomial, it's going to become then this trinomial. So we call this the perfect square trinomial because it's going to turn into a three-termed expression. Notice the other form that we have here is a minus b squared. So instead of having a plus sign, notice how there's going to be a minus sign. Notice how the only difference is the middle term is going to be minus as opposed to positive. So if I did another example here, just for the fun of it, so if I had 2x minus y squared, notice how I could square the first term. 2x times 2x is going to be 4x squared. The next term is you multiply the 2x times the y and double it. 2xy doubled would be 4xy, but it's going to be a minus 4xy. And then if I square the y, that's going to be a positive y squared. So notice how I could actually do that without using FOIL by just using this pattern here. So it's going to be basically the same pattern, but if the middle sign is a minus, then the middle term is going to be minus over here.